Shalom. Before I begin, I'd like to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Ruach Kodash. I'd like to say double honors to my teachers, the apostles, and the elders of Great Millstone that rule well and teach well, and also Shalom and salutations to the brothers out there laboring in this work as well. So this lesson that I'm going to be getting into today, it's going to be a fairly short lesson, a real quick lesson, just going into, you know, something happened here in Canada, in Edmonton, and everything that's been happening so far, all these events that's been taking place, these are all signs and things that are foretold to happen in the scriptures, man. You know, and what happened here was a shooting, uh, 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 an apparent shooting, that took place in the city hall in Edmonton, man, and that's in Canada. You see, and this man, I don't know, I don't really know whether it's an inside job, you know, or this is just a man being crazy, losing his mind, man. You know, we don't know yet, man. We don't know the full details, man. But this is no matter what it is, it's still a part of prophecy. You see, so I'll play a bit of the video. Actually, matter of fact, Khan, I'm not gonna play the video, but just to sum up what the guy said, he was complaining about the cost of living. He was complaining about how, you know, he was in distress. Basically, man. And things weren't going his way. Society is horrible in Canada. The cost of living, so on and so forth, man. That's what he was going into. He complaining about that, and that was the reason for his actions. You see, and this is biblical prophecy, man. The fact that the people would basically go mad. You see, they would lose their minds, man. But this is just a glimpse of what's gonna happen, which is gonna intensify. You know how I should have worded it, man. This is a glimpse of what's going to happen and how these things are gonna intensify, man. You know, so let me jump from there to the book of Jeremiah, chapter 51 and verse 7. It says, Babylon had been a golden cup in Yahweh's hand that made all the earth drunken. The nations have drunken of her wine, therefore the nations are mad. You see, so Babylon here is symbolic to America. And why is America coded as Babylon? Because it has similarities to ancient Babylon. And the word itself, when you break down the word Babylon, it means Babal in the Hebrew, and it translates to confusion. You see? So America today is confusion. There's a lot of confusion going on in America. That's why it's referred to, or the code word for it is Babylon. Because a man can be a woman if he wants to. That's confusion. You know, uh, what the things they teach in the schools. That's confusion. You see, a woman being over a man, having more power than a man. That's confusion, man. And a whole lot of other things. You see, that's why America is coded as Babylon. But it says this Babylon or America had been a golden cup in the Lord's hand. So America is being parallel to a golden cup, a luxurious cup in the Lord's hand with wine in it, that made all the earth drink of that wine. And that wine of America or Babylon, it's philosophies, man. It's philosophies, it's doctrines, it's system, it's way of life, it's way of living, man. That's what's in that wine. That's what the wine is symbolic for. You see, and all the earth has drunken of this wine, meaning the earth, everybody under the earth, everybody under the authority of Babylon, which is ruled by the so-called white man Esau Edom, they partook in those philosophies. They partook in that way of thinking, one way, form, or fashion, man. You see? It says the nations have drunken of her wine. So the nations, the different nations on the earth, the 18 nations, the nation of people, they drunk that wine, and they became drunk off those philosophies. You see? It says, therefore, the nations are mad and they've gone crazy. You see, they've gone psycho, man. Matter of fact, when we read that in the NLT, it says, this is Jeremiah 51 and verse 7 in the NLT. It says, Babylon has been a golden cup in the Lord's hand, a cup that made the whole earth drunk. The nations drank, and a part of Babylon making the whole earth drunk is by spreading these things, man, and pushing them, because you have McDonald's in Africa. How is that possible, man? You have people in Africa that are trying to be like NBA YoungBoy, like dressing like NBA YoungBoy, sagging their pants and wearing Amiri jeans, you know? You see, that's a part of the whole earth being drunk, man. You know? Cause what's nappy headed Hamites doing, trying to mimic NBA YoungBoy, posing like him. Yo, bro, it's crazy. Oh, it says, yeah, Salakia. It says, a cup that made the whole earth drunk. The nations drank Babylon's wine, and it drove them all mad, man. It drove them all mad. It drove the nations crazy. Let me see what that word mad. Mad, it says, jumping down, it says, to act madly, act like a madman. And then when we look up that word madman, it says a man who is mentally ill, man. So, the nations became mentally ill, man. Just lost it, man. Mad. And that's the case with this guy here, man. He lost his mind, because he's complaining about a system that he concurred to, man. He at one point was uh living, that's he's still under that system, but at one point he's Indian, man. Not Indian, this guy is Arab. So he came to Canada for, because he saw the delicacy of that cup. He saw the cup, but he didn't see what was inside the cup, man. He just drank it because it was a golden cup, man. And now he's reaping those that drink. You see, and the consequences of him drinking that cup and chugging it and becoming drunk off it is what? Him getting mad, man, losing his mind. This is the case. He lost his mind, man. He went crazy. You see? But this system, this revived Roman system, it's always been hell, man. Because in the ancient Roman Empire, what? Tax was a big thing, and tax is a part of that wine, because everything is taxed. And inflation, inflation, man. That was heavy in the Roman Empire. And today, beginning with America, which is that revived Roman system, it's the same thing, man. The same things are happening. Tax, the people complaining, uproars, And Yahushua said this was the system, or this was the system you to visit, man. The newly revived Roman system. All right. So when we go from there to the book of I'm gonna jump from there to Second Ezra 15 and verse. I'm gonna start at verse 14. It says, "Woe to the world and them that dwell therein." So the system is not gonna be. It's not gonna get better. The world, and the things that are going on is not gonna get better, but only woes. And that word woe means destruction and death, man. and everybody that dwells therein. So there's gonna be a lot more sorrows, a lot more people acting like this, man, acting mad and going crazy. It says, "Woe to the world and them that dwell therein, for the sword and their destruction draweth nigh. And one people shall stand up to fight against another, and swords in their hands." So civil war is going to happen, and we've seen a glimpse of this with the C-19. How that you had the vax versus the unjabbed, fighting against each other. You see, two sides, man. Even what's going on right now with the the Palestinians and the small hats, man. That's a part of the seditions, man. That's a part of one people standing up against another, man. Verse 16, but it's gonna intensify to the point where people are gonna be killing each other, man, and putting each other to death. Verse 16, it says, "For there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power." So the course of this man's action was stood in his power, man, because he was amongst the king's court in uh the what? In the city hall, man. He worked as a security guard, man. you know? So he didn't regard the king, and the mayor was in there, man. His target was the mayor. Once again, I don't know if this man was an inside job, a setup, you know. But I'm just, reading, prophecy, man. So when I look up this word, sedition, it says, uh, conduct or speech inciting people to rebel. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So if that was even an inside job, that was conduct, inciting people to rebel against authority, man. That could be that the flip side of that, right? Right? He says to rebel against the authority of a state or monarch, man. So if that was an inside job, then that was just that was the government trying to light a fire for people who are like-minded to do the same things, to act on their thoughts, and then that would justify the government into bringing in the military, higher protocols, man. Because in the video you mentioned how that, the security guards, they weren't armed. Most of the security guards that worked there weren't armed. That would justify them to arm security guards and to bring men that are of a higher military status. And then ultimately what's this, we see the big picture, because martial law, man. This is a part of the agenda of these devils, man. To have martial law with troops in the streets, these different cars, these different trucks, you know. You see, that's the ultimate agenda, man. You know, So yeah, that's pretty much the lesson, man. Matter of fact, let me jump to Matthew 24. And verse 6, it says, "Ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet." It says, "For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilences and earthquakes in diverse places." All these are the beginnings of sorrows, man. So what we're seeing, the different nations rising up against each other, these different kingdoms coming up against each other, famines and these pestilences, and these earthquakes in diverse places. These are all just the beginnings of sorrow, because there's more to come. The climax of this is the time of Jacob's trouble, a time that has never been seen before, man. That's the climax of all these beginning of sorrows, man. You know, to the point where people are gonna be eating people. Mothers feeding off their children, man. You know, unexplainable. That's the climax of all the beginning, these sorrows, because we're just in the beginning stages, and it's gonna get worse, man. So with that, I hope this lesson was edifying. Call Halayim La Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, Bahashem Ruach Kudash. Until next time, Shalom.